at the end of the day, it should be able to aid or support you to transform your negative emotions, like it can be jealousy, anger, attachment, envy, ego, pride, greed. That's the main purpose of transforming those emotions into positive. Those are the emotions which makes us unhappy, which is why we have been suffering for all these lives in samsara. So that's what we are supposed to transform. So that's the real purpose of Buddha Dharma. Now you need to understand why doing such a thing help us, how the way it help us to transform us is something very important to know. And that's something we need to focus on, which is very, very important. And now here, as I said, all the Buddha's teachings are like a prescriptions. If you have a sickness, you go to the hospital, and what doctor give you is like, written, but after writing your name and the date, the doctor write like what kind of, symptoms you have. Okay, maybe you have a fever, you have this, and you have that and that. And then based on the symptoms, based on the results of analysis, the doctor come to a conclusion and say like, okay, you might have you might be infected with this and that virus or this and that bacteria. So doctor given, name of a sickness. And based on that sickness and the causes of that sickness, doctor gives you a medicine. Okay, you eat this medicine, drink this medicine, you eat this and eat that. And then doctor also give like, you eat twice a day, twice one morning and evening, and then da. So that letter is called prescription letter. So exactly the same way, Buddha is also our doctor. Dharma is a medicine, and then Sangha is supposed to be a nurse who guides you when the doctor is not around. So exactly the same way, then what are the books that Buddha has given, So what are those books? Those books are prescription letter. Those books contain not only your name, but also the name of the doctors. Your name of the doctor himself, and then the date the doctor has given this written this prescription letter, the people who are around there when the doctor has given the prescription letter, your sickness, what kind of medicine you need to intake, and when you need to intake, and how you need to intake. If you open a sutra, if you look at the book, any book or a teaching of sutra, you're going to find like to whom this teaching has given. Okay, and then when this teaching has been given, exactly the same way the doctor write the date at the top of the prescription letter, and also it shows the sickness. Okay, you have an anger issue, you have a jealousy issue. Then the Buddha also not only explain about the anger, but the doctor said like the causes of the anger as well. The nature of anger and then causes of anger, exactly like the nature of sickness and then the cause of sickness. Then Buddha explained about how to get rid of the sickness. Then doctor give a medicine. Medicine can be compassion. Practice of compassion is a medicine. Practice of love is a medicine. Practice of morality is a medicine. Practice of physical discipline is also like morality is also a medicine. So likewise, Buddha patience, practice of patience is also a medicine. And then Buddha says like how you should practice. So exactly like the prescription letter. So now what we are doing is just reading the prescription letter that the doctor has given. We're just reading the sutras, and then of course it is helpful. It helps us to accumulate a lot of merits, positive energies, and so forth. But then just by doing this is not enough to get rid of our sickness, which are anger, jealousy, envy, ego, greed, pride. So these are our sickness that everybody have. In this world we have a lot of doctors treat our physical issues, physical problems. But then the problem is we don't have any doctor beside Buddhist teachers who treat the inner sickness like envy, jealousy, ego, anxiety, stress, depression. So these are the things which let us suffer much more than some physical pain. You won't find any suicide case because of physical pain. Very rare, extremely rare. But 99% of the suicide cases are because of the mental pain. The pain in the heart, the pain in the mind, not the pain on the body. But unfortunately, we don't have much doctor. So Buddha is that doctor. And then like meditation is also one of the way. Then slowly in some future classes, we will go through some other ways of treatment, some other ways to deal with the pain and problems and all these issues. For now, for today, we will go through the anger. And then one of the the Dikila want us to go through meditation, but yes, of course we will go through meditation, but today we decided to go through this anger because this is something that everybody has more or less, and then this is something that creates a problem in daily basis, because you won't find a person who says that I'm really enjoying these days because I'm so angry. You won't find such a person, because whenever you are angry, you are unhappy. Whenever you are having this hatred towards someone else, you are not happy. So if you hold it for a long period of time, then whenever you are angry, you're not happy. For example, if you're angry to the neighborhood, whenever you see neighborhood, you're not happy. So unfortunately, the neighborhood you see every day, then you are not happy every day. Then one of the reason is like many people they can't find, they don't find a way to bring peace within themselves when they have these issues. So when you go to the doctors, they can't do much. So one of the best way is practice Buddhism, because Buddha has given medicine for this kind of pain and problems that we face in our day-to-day life. So Dharma should help. You all believe in Buddhism, as far as I understand. So use Dharma, apply Dharma in day-to-day life, and try to have more meaningful life, happier life. Doesn't matter what you have. Happiness is not something based on external phenomena. Happiness is just a state of mind. It's just state of satisfaction. If you are satisfied with whatever food you are eating, you are happy with what you are eating. If you're not satisfied with what you're eating, then it doesn't matter how good or how expensive your food is. You won't be happy eating that if you're not satisfied. It's very simple. It's very logical. So then, anger, I would like to try to go through very rational approach, very ethical approach. I won't say much about Buddha said this or Buddha said that. I will also not go through like saying like, okay, if you get angry, you're gonna go to the hell or this and that. I won't say that at all, because I want this. I want you to take it very seriously, very practically, and I'm not just giving this 1 hour for you to accumulate some merit just by listening to it, but to really practice, and then and I would strongly suggest you to go seriously at least for 14 days, because you'll start to see a big change in around 14 days. But then if you go through these methods for about 2-3, then you start to see a positive result in like 2-3 days. Okay, so Buddha said that if you want to remove the darkness in the room, you need to turn on the light. If you have a darkness in the room, you go outside and then you ask for the whole world to pray for you to remove the darkness is not going to help you to, to remove the darkness unless you turn on the light. And if you are hungry, if you are so hungry, then you pray. It's not going to work. It's not going to get rid of that hunger. And then the only way is to eat the food, because there's the opposite side. There's the antidote. If you have a virus in your phone, then you go to the temple and then pray. It's not going to work. Logically, you need to install an antivirus. There's the only way to get rid of the virus from your phone or from your computer. Very, 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 very rational, very, very logical. This is how Buddha explained, not through the virus and antivirus and a computer, but through the light and the darkness, cold and the heat. It is very, very hot. You turn on the AC. You just go over there, pray, whatever you do, even if you're being so generous, even if you do some charity, it's not going to remove the darkness in your room unless you turn on the light. There's no way. If you turn on the light, if it is a very, you may not be able to turn, make the light so strong, which eliminate the whole darkness in the room. But then if you make the light stronger and stronger, then you will be able to eliminate the darkness. So similarly, the anger, the wisdom, you need a wisdom to remove the ignorance. You need a knowledge to remove the doubt. Suppose you have a doubt, maybe this is that, maybe this is that. So then what you need to do is to know it. So when you know, when you have the knowledge, then you don't have any doubt anymore. Isn't it? If you have a box, like it's the closed, locked, then you have a doubt, what could be in this box? Now, to remove that doubt, you cannot go to temple and pray. This is not going to remove that doubt at all, Then what do you need to do? You need to know what's in there, Open the box and see what's in there. Then you don't have any doubt anymore. Even if you want to have the doubt, you don't have a doubt because you have seen. You know it now. So because the knowledge is the antidote, is the opposite side of darkness, So when you have a knowledge, the doubt goes away. When you have the wisdom, ignorance goes away. Exactly the same way. The anger is one kind of, let's take a virus, Anger is also one virus where we need to apply the antivirus. So the antivirus of the anger is patience, a practice of patience. Yeah, that's what you need to do. You need to practice patience. You need to apply the patience to get rid of the virus called anger. And then you might think that I might not be so angry, short-tempered, or I don't have any anger issues. But then, everybody has it, more or less, unless you are so good in practices, unless you are really realized. Everybody has this, more or less. If you still think that you don't have, then just imagine that somebody come and hit your mother or harm your family. You'll know how much of anger you have. But then if getting angry, if somebody harm your family, if getting angry helps, then it's okay. But it doesn't help at all. It destroys. So if the patience is the practice, if the patience is what we are supposed to practice, then the question is how to practice patience. Many people misunderstand. There are lots and lots of stories, like funny stories of people. They're thinking to, there was a small monk, and then somebody did something wrong, some of our friend, and then he was really boosted, he looks very red, and then he's like boosted, and then he's looking down on the floor, and one day I asked, like, what happened? He's like, I'm practicing patience. Oh, very good. But how you're practicing patience? It's like, I'm not saying anything to that person. Oh, okay. But at the end, but there is not a practice of patience, Many people think that in our country, maybe in Bhutanese as well, in Tibetan or in Ladakhi, we consider those students as a very good, with a good practice of patience, who are very quiet. Maybe, but not necessarily. In this society, we say that those kids who are very quiet, oh, he is very good, he is very quiet, he's very good. Maybe yes, very good, maybe not. If you think all the bad things about other person who harm you, even it doesn't matter whether you say something or not, you shouldn't consider that as a practice of patience. Not saying something, yeah, it's good that you're not saying something. If you don't say something that is not harming the other person, but then you are harming yourself, and that is not a practice of patience. If you're holding that anger in you, and then actually from one point holding that, without dealing with it, holding a pain, oh, that is sometimes the more dangerous. If you hold it for a long time, it will create loneliness in you, and then it will literally disturb you. It will make you unhappy. Then that's not healthy for physical body as well. So then if this is not a practice of patience, then the question is, what is the practice of patience? Now I would literally classify it into two. The practice of patience is nothing but these two, and these two are thinking the disadvantages of getting anger, concentrating or thinking on disadvantages of getting angry is one way. Another way is thinking the advantages. Now this one was disadvantage of the anger. Now advantages of not being angry. Very simple. Practice of patience is thinking the negative result or disadvantages of being angry and concentrating on the advantages of not being angry. So I would focus more on this part today. We won't be able to go through too many, but if you concentrate this part for a while, you will see a huge transformation in yourself. You will start to see it in few days. I used to be a short-tempered when I became a monk, like 11, 12, 13. Around the 14 or 15, I really was able to transform myself through some of these practices. And the majority of these practices comes from, I'm going to say the disadvantages of getting angry from perhaps 6-7 points. And then you need to concentrate and meditate on each point for about 2 minutes a day. If it is possible, then you can practice 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes on the evening on each 7 points. So you need to give like 14 minutes in the morning, 14 minutes in the evening. Very little effort, very little effort. You just need to give half an hour a day or just 14 minutes a day. So it's a very small, very small invest, and then trust me, you're gonna get a huge result in your for the whole life. You forget about marriage, forget about next life, good rebirth and these things, but even in this life you're gonna find a huge amount of result, a positive result, much happier, much peaceful. When you become old, people will love to be around you. But if you are so angry, when you become an old man or an old woman, if you have a very short temper, if you're so angry, then people will feel uncomfortable to be around. Even with the monks, obviously with the lay people, even with the monks, if some senior, very old monks are really short tempered and they say all the bad things and everything, even the young monks, they don't feel comfortable to go around. So forget about next life. Even for this life, it's very helpful if you don't have an anger, if you don't have a gross anger, if you are able to control your anger, if you are very peaceful. Yeah. Okay. So then let's go to those 7 or 8 points. Now, these are really very precious. It may sound very easy. It may sound whatever it is, but then trust me, these are the methods that not only Buddha himself, but the great Nalanda masters. If I just name few, a great Nalanda master called Chandrakirti, the great Nalanda master called Shantideva, and so forth. So you're going to find these methods, these skills, these techniques in those books written by them. And also, of course, in Buddha's sutras. So I would strongly suggest you to note down the points so that you can go on each point for about 2 minutes a day. You trust me, this is quite interesting. And then I have many students who is been practicing, who have practiced, who are starting to practice nowadays. And then the consequences are quite visible. Many of my students really like the classes with me. So there are some students who really like my class just because of this teaching, these points, because they found that this has totally changed their life. Okay, without further ado, so then what are the 7 or 8 points? So the first point is, so the first point with which you can concentrate on the disadvantages of being angry is that if you get angry, you will lose your values, you will lose your respect and reputation. Suppose you have your life principles, everybody have their principle, like I'm not going to hurt anyone, I'm not going to say this to anyone, and based on those your life principles, you have respect towards yourself, and then you have a respect from others, and based on those respect you have a reputation among your family, among your friend, among your community. If you are in a school, in your school, if you're in a college, in your college, if you're in an office, in your office. So if you get angry, one of the disadvantages, you lose your values. When you lose your values, you lose your self-confidence. You don't know what you are. You think that you are a very nice person, but then you are not. You think that you are wonderful, this and blah, 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 but at the end of the day, your action speaks otherwise. So based on that, people will start to judge you. If you have a very good reputation in the eyes of people, it won't be there anymore. So I won't go with a lot of stories on this point. I think this is quite enough for you to understand the first point, that it loses your values, it takes away the respect that you have from yourself and from others. It also reduces your reputation. So they concentrate on this one for 2 minutes. There is no need, it's like a free, you can think of any example that is relevant to you, relevant to your life, that has happened to you, that has happened to your friend or your family member, or some people that happened to some people in a history. Yeah. So actually you can meditate on this topic, as long as you want, but then I just want you to go through 2 minutes with the things that really move your heart. Yeah. Without further saying on this topic, because we need to cover the rest of the 6-7 points. let's move into the second one. So please note down, if you have some paper to note down, unless you have a wonderful brain, okay, computer brain. There are some monks, there are some younger monks. There used to be a monk from Mongolia, a very, very close friend of mine. He was a classmate, but then he was monk for like a few years, and then he left the monk. Now he's back in Mongolia. But then he used to have a wonderful brain. You don't need to note for 5, 6, 7 points. He just memorized it on the spot, which is wonderful. Like if you have such a brain, then I would really respect that. But then if you don't have, you better put note it down. Then because you need to remind it, you need to remember it when you practice, So remember, listening to Dharma is to practice. The purpose of listening to Dharma should be to practice. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. You better help your parents. It's better. When it comes to merit, simply merit, I think it's better to help your parents than reading some books or reading some prayers. That accumulate. That way you accumulate more merit. Trust me. That clearly has been explained in the Buddha's sutra and the Abhidharma text of Vasubandhu. Okay. Anyways, there is an additional point to that. So the second point, if you get angry, it not only makes you unhappy, but it destroys the happiness of those people who are so beloved to you. When you came to this world, you came naked. You came with nothing, not even a single piece of cloth. I don't know whether you have a hair at the time, I don't know. But then you pretty much have nothing. From that age, from that time, your father and mother and your family members has been taking care of you as if you are their body. They respect you and they took care of you much more than their own body. If somebody hurt you, a mosquito hurt you, mosquito bite you, then many people kill it, right? Just hurt you a bit and then you kill it, and those family members, they literally ignore their own physical body to give you a birth. They might went through the not healthy food so that you can have a healthy food. They might sacrifice their own delicious food that they want to eat by thinking that it might not good for the baby that I have in my stomach. Imagine that you are carrying 5 kilos of, I don't know, maybe not 5 kilos, like 2 kilos of bag on your back for one day. How difficult would it be? And then our mothers has been carrying in her own stomach for like 24/7 for 9 months. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter whether it makes her uncomfortable or comfortable. Doesn't matter how hard it is. Even with the sleeping, some parents had to change the sleeping position because it's not a healthy way to sleep when you are having this baby. So I've heard that some women, they have been through like many sleepless nights because they had to change the sleeping position for the baby. Like there are some people who like to sleep by just downwards like this, then they can't sleep like that when they're having a baby. I mean, having a baby in their stomach, and then some people have been sleeping in that position for the whole life, and then all of a sudden one has to change, and then one can't fall in sleep in this way. And then you want to eat a delicious food, but you cannot because she thinks that it might not be good for the baby. So likewise, it's not only our mother, but our father and our relative and our family members. They have sacrificed a lot, If we are left unattended, suppose you are like a one-year-old infant. Suppose you are 1-year-old infant. So you know that you eat everything, right? If somebody gave you a sharpener, like a pencil sharpener, you're gonna eat. If somebody give you a spoon, you're gonna eat. If you find a coin, you're gonna eat. You're gonna eat everything, If you get a pen, you're gonna eat the pen, So you have been guided by your parents like 24 hours. That's how you look like a human. Otherwise, you're gonna step everything to your face, and then you will be like full of scars if your parents have not been taking care of you when you were young. So such people who have literally sacrifice not only 9 months, but a lot of time, who has been your watchman, for quite a long period of time. Like if somebody asks you to give your nutrition from your body, if somebody asks that I'm gonna pull all your nutrition from your body by through some injection for his body, then you will not agree. Who would agree? But that's exactly what our parents did. Our mother did, especially. So if we are unhappy, especially if we are angry, no matter how hard you try to hide it from your parents see it. Even if you try to talk something very normal, people see on your face. If you have the fire of anger in your body, in your heart, then the smoke comes out of your mouth. You cannot hide the fire. This is how it is. You just can't hide the fire. You may think that, okay, I'm going to put a blanket on it, or I might put something on the fire. You won't. You might press down the fire, but then the smoke comes out. Exactly the same way, you might think that I'm not going to express this anger in my family when I got back. Like suppose you are angry in our office, but then when you come back house, then even if you talk something, even if you try to talk something nice, it's not usual. People sense it. Many of the time, people just say at that time, even if you're not showing some angry, you are very straightforward. Then it makes unhappy. It makes your family unhappy. It makes those people who live with you, who share the house with you, who share the food with you, who have been having the meal, from one vessel, who have been sharing the kitchen, who have been sharing the bathroom. Yeah. So this is one of the reasons that the second point, if you are angry, it not only ruins your happiness, but it also ruins the happiness of your family members who have been kind, beloved, who have been there, who have stood there when you had nothing, who have stood there when you have the worst of the time, worst of the day in your life. It makes them unhappy. Suppose you are angry to your neighborhood, but then you're hurting yourself, you're hurting your parents, you're hurting your family members, and it's really not fair. So the third point is, when you get anger, when you get angry, when you have this anger in you, the third point is, anger is like a fire. It burns you. Suppose you are so angry to Tashi, but the Tashi don't even know that. Suppose you're so angry to Tashi. Tashi said something. Tashi wrote a message to you, and then maybe he meant that, he don't meant that, but then he don't even know that you are angry on Tashi. But then what happened? You hold this anger and you think about their message again and again and again. Then what happens is it just creates a sort of a fire in you, and then it burns yourself. You don't even know what is happening to the Tashi. So the anger has two entities, two phases. One part of the anger is, I missed this part at the beginning. So now if you hold anger, to hold anger, you must know the anger. So now in a separate page. So what is this anger that you talk, Anger, you can see anger from a two aspect. If you don't understand anger, anger has a two phase. One phase, when you get angry, you see the object much worse than it actually exists. Tashi is 20% bad, but when you are angry to the Tashi, you 40%, 60%, 80%, even 90%, sometimes even 100%, you would see Tashi is so bad. Whatever he does is bad. That can happen. So that is the one anger. If you are angry, you never see the object as it is. If the object is 20% bad, this anger don't see
Sorry, I think Lama Kunphel just got disconnected. I'll let him know to come back in.
Now we lost him.
Oh, am I audible? Suddenly the connection went over. I don't know what happened.
No problem. We can hear you now, but let's see where. We don't see your video. Okay, we see you now.
Is it clear enough?
Yes.
Am I audible? All right, all right. So there is the one phase of anger, which is that it exaggerates the reality and it makes the reality much worse. That's what's one phase of anger. And then the second phase of anger is that it wants to hurt the object. Anger is a mind which desire to hurt. For example, if the anger is on Tashi, if you're angry at a person called Tashi, that the anger really
Lama Kunphel might have to switch his internet. One moment.
sorry, it was the connection. I changed it. Now I think it's better. Okay?
Okay, perfect. Lama Kunphel, we can hear you now.
Perfect. So the first phase of the anger is that it exaggerates the situation. It see the situation much worse. And the second phase of the anger is it want to hurt. So that's why if somebody said, you look like monkey, then your natural innate response is like, no, you look like monkey. So because when somebody said you look like monkey, you got angry. So when you got angry, your innate response, because the another phase of angry is to hurt back, so you try to hurt back verbally, physically, however it is possible. So that's why you say you look like monkey. Okay, that shows the second phase. So and then also if a mosquito bite, then it bites you, it hurts you, and then you are hurt, you are angry, and then the innate response is to kill it back, which is not really fair. Mosquito is taking just one drop of your blood and then you are literally taking his life. Not really fair, but this is how it is when you get angry. This is how what majority of the people seems to be doing, unfortunately. And then this is like, this is like so so natural, you don't even think about it. So this is so, it looks like pretty much unintentional because you are so used to that. If something hurts you, then you are so used to hurt back because you're so used to this anger from many past lives. So that's why when you are born from a very early age, you don't need to taught how to get angry. Nobody teach you to get angry, but you know it because that's what you've been doing the whole previous life. You don't need to teach how to get jealous. You just know it. Okay. So with this, a bit explanation of what anger is. Anger has anger is a mental consciousness. Anger is a mind which has two phases. One phase is it exaggerate the situation and it see the situation much worse. And the second phase is that it want to hurt back, harm back. Okay, with this, so if you are angry to the Tashi, so the third point, if you are angry to the Tashi, it doesn't hurt Tashi at all. It desire to hurt the Tashi, yes, it desire to hurt the Tashi, but then Tashi don't even know. Tashi is not affected at all. And then what you're doing is creating this fire inside you, which burns you, which takes away the peace of your mind. And then you maybe you're eating a very delicious food, no taste. Maybe you're with your most beloved people, surrounded with the beloved people. Not nice. Maybe you're having a nice party, but then you're not happy because you just had a fight with the taxi and then you still have that anger in you, isn't it? So then whatever you do, it's not pleasant. Okay. So thinking about that is one of the point to reflect on disadvantage of anger, because it doesn't burn the other side. It burns yourself. It's more like you want to burn neighbor's house, and then what you are doing is burning your own house. That's the level of stupid that the anger creates. So that's why, we should control our negative emotion, not the other way around. We should not let those negative emotions control us. We try to control the negative emotions and convert into positive. That's what Dharma means. That's what the real practice of Buddha's teaching is. We call it Dharma, right? We call it what? Chu. In Bhutanese language, you say Chu, right? That's what it means by Chu. Chu is another word for Chu. Chu is like what you say in Bhutanese, like, when you what is the treatment? Do you have any word for treatment? When you are sick, when you have some disease, you go to hospital for what? Treatment, right?
Yes, menjo.
Yeah, that's right. So the meaning of men is like a medicine. Chu is like to transform, to change. I'm going to hospital for menchu, which means I'm going to hospital to transform my disease into a state of fine. To transform my disease into a healthy state. I used to be healthy before. Now I'm sick. Now I want to transform this sickness by the medicine. It's what I mean chu. So that chu means to transform, to change, and that chu has so that chu is exactly the chu, same meaning, which means to transform. So I'm practicing chu, which means I am practicing transformation. If you say I'm practicing Sangye Chu, Buddha's teachings, Buddha's Dharma, it means that I'm transforming my mind by the help of Buddha's teachings. Okay. So there's the third point, which is that it burns you. It doesn't affect the other person at all. And the fourth point is, if you have that sort of anger again and again, it creates a sort of loneliness, and you lose your friends, and you lose a good relation. For example, if you are a shopkeeper, then you have these beautiful friends and relation with your customer. If you are a student, then you might have a good relation with the teacher, but if you show anger to the teacher, then it breaks the relation. If you are a teacher, if you get angry to the student, then you create, every time you get angry, you create some scars into the image of the relation that you have. If a monk get angry to a person, they start to lose their faith towards the monk. Monk should be the one who set this example for the people. And then if monks start to show angry, if monks start to show the signs of not practicing Dharma, not transformed, then it loses the faith of people. So this goes with everyone. And then also it creates a sort of lonely, because suppose you have a 5 close friend, you got angry to this one. Now you don't have a good relation with this one. You're angry to this one, and then you're angry to this one, and this one, and then at the end of the day, you becomes more and more, you will be with lesser and lesser friends. And when you have lesser friends, it will create you won't feel like sharing your secrets. You won't feel like share what you feel in your heart, and then as a consequence, you will be more and more lonely. Okay, there's the fourth point. Now the fifth point is, when you're angry, you lose the capability to analyze the good and the bad. You won't, your analytical mind, your decision-making ability, your brain, your intellectual brain is not going to work anymore. So that's why when people are so angry, they become like a crazy. They become like so stupid that they harm those people who are most precious to them. Like I've seen, like mother always loves children. Mother, they love the children above anything else. I've seen many mother, divorcing their own husband for the sake of children. I've seen many some other strange things because the mother loved their children. And then many of the times I've seen that there is a lot of domestic violence going on, but then the woman is still not divorcing with the husband for the sake of children. So she's literally sacrificing her happiness. She's being with a person who she don't like anymore, who is harming her. For what? For the children. That's what I've seen many women doing, especially in Asian countries. I don't support that personally, but that's how people are doing out of their love to the kids. And then even if the mother loved the kid that much, but then if the mother is angry, I've seen that they're being a bit violent to the kids, especially in Asian countries. This is really sad, but this is what is happening. Not acceptable according to Buddhism, but then how? This is what is happening. But then if you beat the children, you're literally killing the confidence in the children. That's why in Asian countries, if you are supposed to ask some questions, people don't ask easily. People hesitate to ask some questions because they've been pressed down by the parents, by the teachers. Many schools, some teacher, they're being a bit violent, and then as a consequence, it might help the children to get few more marks in exam, but then they fail in confidence. They fail in life because they're lacking of confidence. I won't say it's I won't make a clear right or wrong, but then I personally don't support that. And then I have some, I've heard from some masters and teachers saying that it's okay to being a violent sometimes. Okay, it's their opinion, but I personally don't agree with that. Anyways, so now the point is, if you have a very good decision-making mind and a very good analytical ability, very intelligent and sharp to make decision, but when you are angry, it just block all those brain. It just block all this intellectual part. It creates you a bit of stupid. That's why if you go to a prison, in India, there is a big prison called Tihar Jail. There was an interview with them once, and then they have had an interview with all those people who are murderer. And then when they ask them, why you do that? And then majority of them say that, I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like a demon got inside me. The demon is nothing other than anger. So when they're so angry, they don't know what they were doing. And they regret the whole life. They go to the prison, they suffer over there. Even if they got back out of the prison, they don't get a proper job because they think that he's murderer. What happened? Why? Because he was angry. So that's why all this happened. Enough of that point. At the end of the day, the fifth point is it decreases your intellectual part. It makes you, it pushes you in ignorance, darkness. The consequence, you don't know. So which is the fifth point. So now the sixth point is, doesn't matter how good you look how good you look, not only the physical but gesture. In some it says that attachment, beautiful is not only the color, it's not only the shape, but beautiful is like a gesture. Like if you smile, that is a beautiful. Those people who smile a bit more, is also one of the biggest part of beautiful. And the beautiful is not something that a person can judge or two-person can judge, because it depends on very much individual, Not one phone is beautiful for everyone. Not one pen is beautiful for everyone. Everybody like different pen. Everybody like different car. Everybody like different color of the hair. Okay, in Asia it may not be really nice to have different color culturally, but then this is how it is. You might not have the varieties of color of your hair, but then it's not necessarily mean that you like the black. Uh, anyways, yeah. So it doesn't matter. Suppose however you looks like. Even the dogs. They are beautiful because there are many other dogs who really really love that dog. And then if you give a choice a dog, then you can choose anyone in this world as your wife or as your husband. The dog will never choose a human. The dog will choose a dog because that dog is the most beautiful for them. So exactly the same way, for every human, there is the beautiful for them is different. So in one of the conference, I was telling that each and every phenomena, not just human, but each and every phenomena is beautiful as its own entity, because it is beautiful for someone. So based on that, so how beautiful you are to someone. If you are angry, you reduce that. You are reducing that beauty of you. But that's what it is stated in some texts. And then this is good to say, because I'm not sure about in in Tibet or in Bhutan. Perhaps I haven't been to Bhutan, so I don't know much about Bhutan. But in Ladakh, I don't see people are focusing much on the appearance. Um, I'm saying this because I haven't seen that much of makeups and surgeries and blah blah and blah blah. But there are some places, there are some people who focus very much on the physical appearance. I can easily say, because I can see a lot of makeups on and all these things. Yeah, it's good. It's a self-respect in one sense, but at the same time, um, if you lose the beauty of gesture, I think that's the main thing. The beauty of person can be beautiful by character, person can be beautiful by manner, beautiful by gesture, uh, and then for Asians maybe some color. Unfortunately, this is really strange, but this is how it is. One of the reason is in Tibetan or in Bhutanese as well, we say le karnak. So po is more like virtue, napo is more like sin. If you see a black cat, oh, it's bad because it's a black cat. So there is a huge discrimination based on color. And then we have been raised in such an atmosphere, which is why maybe the whites considered as a bit better. I don't know. But then everybody like to eat chocolate, and then people don't care when it comes to eating a chocolate, isn't it? And then when it comes to hair, people don't like white. People start to get worry. And then when it comes to teeth, people like white. And then, but yeah, there's a different, so it depends, then I don't know, maybe in Buddhism we should not see the phenomena or discriminate based on color, and then that's not how we should think, even in general. But anyways, whatever the beautiful is, and then you reduce that value of the beauty, and then you don't look nice. And also you are a very nice person to be around, you are a very friendly person to be around, but when you are angry, people don't feel you're nice, people don't think that you are friendly enough to be around. From that aspect, let's take that for the 6th point. So now the 7th or 7, the second last point, 7, is that it breaks the long-term relationship. Suppose you have a very long-term relationship with the clients, and then I think that's a huge thing when it comes to a business. The long-term relation really makes a sense, because that creates a sort of a trust. And then even if you do some minor mistakes, People understand you because people have been knowing you for a very long time. But if you keep getting angry again and again, then it breaks that long-term relationship. That can be even with a friend, neighborhood, family, relative, customer, teacher, student, whatever it is. So the 7th point is it breaks the relationship that you have been earned, long-term relationship that you have been earned and that you have been taking care from many, many years. There's the 7th point. And now the 8th point is when you're so angry, what do you want to do? You want to hurt others, right? And then I've asked to some people, why you want to hurt others? Because if I hit that person hit me, said me something very bad. If I get to say something very bad to that person, I will be so happy. It will really help me so much. I will find a peace in my mind, blah, 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 blah. But then suppose the person hits you and make a scar on your face. Maybe break your teeth. There is an Indian living. The 6th point is it makes you look unpleasant, not nice enough, not beautiful enough, or not friendly enough to be around. So there's the 6th point. I think someone asked that. So the 7th one is it breaks the relation of a very long-term relation. There's the 7th point. Now the 8th point is when someone hurts you, you want to hurt back because you think that is going to benefit you, that is going to make change something in you. It will really help me or something like that. It will bring peace and things like that. But if you think carefully, where it brings peace, where does it bring peace in your hand? Does it heal your scar which you had? Does it help you to grow your teeth back? I think it doesn't help your physical body at all. Check, does it help your eyes? Does it help your hair? Does it help your hand? None of our physical body is being benefited. Then which is benefited? What benefited or what nice or what beneficial that you're talking about? If you just check closely. If you hurt someone back, does it help your compassion? No. Does it help your ninja compassion? No. Does it help your zoba patience? No. Does it help your refuge to the Buddha? No. Does it help any of your positive mind? No. But do you think that it helps your mind? It gives a peace in your mind. So which mind that you're talking about? If you closely check, then it is only your ego. If you hit back, it only helps your ego. It only gives some peace to your ego. That ego who has been torturing your whole life. That ego who have been refraining you from getting knowledge from your friends. That ego who also put you down sometimes. What's the point of feeding that ego? Which has been hurting you the whole life. If you hit back, if you say something back, all it benefits, all it enhances, all it promotes, all it helps is your ego. Is it really worth feeding your ego by hurting others, by saying bad words to others, even if a person says? But then remember, you don't need to be a stupid. You don't need to pretend like you don't know it. You can say that I know what you have said to me is bad, but then I'm not saying something bad to you because that's not me. What other people say to you, what other people does to you, that shows what other people is. That shows the way person is. What you react, the way you react, shows the way you are. That shows the values that you have, life values that you have. But then you don't need to pretend like you don't know it. Then people will take advantage, like, he's so stupid, He's okay, I can just bully him or her. It's okay if I just release all my tension by yelling at this person. You need to tell them, okay, I'm also a living being with the feelings. But then, yes, sometimes it's good to just keep quiet at that time. You can tell the person after a few hours when the person seems a bit more normal. Maybe you can say tomorrow in an office or at the school that yesterday you really, really said that and this and that. But then I thought like maybe it's okay. This happened to everyone. If you understand, then people embarrass, it really changed it. It really pushed the person to think. Sorry, I'm 10 minutes late. But then at the end of, if I make a sort of conclusion of these 8 points, please, if you have already noted these 8 points, now please spare 2 minutes for each 8 points. Just 2 minutes for each 8 points every day. If you really love yourself, then 2 times a day. If you don't care much about yourself, then it's okay. Just go on with 1. But it's only you. Like your family is important, your parents are important, but then it is only you. The real best friend who always stood beside you, the real friend who always is with you is your own mind. Sorry, is yourself. You are your friend. You are the best friend who always were there. Mind creates something bad, mind got angry, and then the physical body got pain. The mind desired to eat something spicy, and then the physical tongue has to suffer. Now it's time to do something good for yourself, be compassionate to yourself, love yourself. Sorry, Tik, yeah, you have a question?
Sorry, I do. I just want like if we meditate for 2 minutes on each point, do we just recite it? Like how do we meditate on it?
No. Forget what you have written. Just think about that.
Okay.
For 2 minutes, you have a free thinking. You can think of anything related to that topic. Like, this is one of the wonderful meditation. Like, this meditation is what you have freedom.
I see.
Some other meditation you are controlled by, you are not supposed to do that. But in this meditate, each point, as long as it falls into that topic, you can think of that.
Okay, that's good to know.
Not about what you have written. I'm not talking about the words. The words is not important, but the meaning is important.
Okay, I see. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Perhaps I will share this video to all of you. The link, perhaps, if we can do.
I'll create a link. Yes.
Wonderful. Then anybody can watch if they want to remember. Yeah. I hope I haven't said something to hurt someone over here, so then it will hurt them again and again. Okay. Anyways, that's the 8 point. Yeah, if you really, really love yourself,
Yeah.
it's worth doing it for the peace of your mind, for the peace of, for the happiness of your family. If you are very calm, compassionate, then you become a person who everybody loves to be around. You ask to everybody. This I say to majority of my students, that some people think that, I don't have much friends, I don't have that friends, they complain of themselves. They might not say, but they complain in their heart. But then you ask to the whole world what kind of friend. If you make a survey to the whole Bhutan or the whole world, what kind of friend you really want to have, then each and every person will say that I need a kind friend, understanding friend, a friend who is not getting angry, a friend who is not getting jealous, a friend who is not selfish, a compassionate friend, a friend who are there to help when you need. Everybody will say this. Perhaps some people will say that it doesn't matter. Even if a friend is jealous, angry, selfish, whatever. If he is rich, it's okay. Maybe some people might say that. But then even if a person is rich, if he is very selfish, angry, jealous, and then arrogant on all these things, maybe you won't like it. Maybe you go along for like 1 days, 2 days, 3 days, but then you won't be there. Even if you are a friend of an actor or an actress, the world, most famous actor or actress, if he is or she is very selfish, short-tempered, jealous, and then ego and all these things, you won't find peace to be around that person. At the end of the day, everybody like a kind, understanding, compassionate, loving, if he's there for you when you are in need, you like that kind of friend, isn't it? So if you make yourself such a person, if you transform yourself to be a friend, to be a person who is kind, understanding, compassionate, loving, who help others when there is need, then you literally has eligible yourself to someone who everybody want. If you make yourself to such a person, then you have created yourself to such a person that everyone in the Bhutan wants you to be their friend. Everyone in this world wants you to be their friend. Now, as long as people know you, people want you to be their friend. It doesn't matter whether it's a king or a queen, or a beggar or a rich or a poor. Everybody wants you as their friend. As long as people know you, they want you. So why didn't you make such a person out of yourself? That's exactly what Buddha told. That's what Buddha said. Transformation is what you needed. Okay. With this, I would say, if you love yourself, then you can transform this love. Then you can expand this love. If you don't love yourself, then you cannot expand to others. If you don't have a compassion to yourself, then you cannot expand this compassion to others. To ninja, to have a good ninja, first you need to have that sort of ninja to yourself. Ninja is a word for compassion. I kind of believe that Bhutan, you use the same word, isn't it? Ninja.
Yes, we do use the same word.
Yeah. So in order to have a ninja to all the sentient beings, you need to have ninja towards yourself. If you really have that ninja towards yourself, then try to remove the pain. And then to remove the pain, you need to remove the cause of pain. Pain comes from negative action. Negative action comes from emotion like anger. So to remove the anger, you need to practice patience. The way to practice patience is these 8 points. So spare 2 minutes by being compassionate towards oneself. And with that request, I would like to conclude this class. Thank you very much for joining, and I'm really, really happy to have this class. So,
thank you so much, Lama Kunphel.
I'm really happy. So this is perhaps the first, the first class that I'm giving to a group of Bhutanese people. And I'm really happy. Dikila, you have already joined some class, right?
Yes, I did. And I think this is my second time on the session on anger, and it's giving me different perspectives, and a lot of reflection is happening within me, and it's really helping me. So I'd like to thank you so much for bringing this program to my students. I'm sure they will have so many things, highlights from here. So I'll definitely get back to them. I wanted to compile their highlights, and I want to keep on monitoring how they are transforming themselves and making practices on daily basis, and looking forward for such more kind of programs. And I'm really seeing a lot of changes in me within few days of practice. So thank you so much.
Really happy to know that you see some results in practicing in the last few days. I'm really happy, extremely happy. And then it would, if it is possible, whoever is practicing, maybe you can update in the group that we have.
That's what I want.
Just 2 minutes is what it requires.
Yes.
And
so that's what I want to encourage, actually. My students, I want them right after this, I wanted to send text saying that share their highlight, and then also try to share their experiences after a few days. So that's how I think we can keep in, trying to monitor each other, help each other, have clarity on these 8 points. So I want to continue with that. Yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful. I'm really, really happy. Really, really happy. So with this, I'll just say 2 words. By the merits we might have accumulated, we surely has accumulated from this section. May we be able to bring a good practice of patience. May we be able to generate love and compassion within ourselves, and then so that we can able to expand it to others. And through this, may we be able to bring peace and harmony within ourselves, within our family, within our village, within our town, and within the whole Bhutan and the whole world gradually. May this knowledge not only, limit within us. May this knowledge gives a sort of raise to others, and may all others may also understand and learn from us, so that the whole, may this knowledge brings peace and happiness in the whole world. May all the people who are having issues with the coronavirus, crisis, may those people who are infected, and may all those people who are afraid, scared, depressed by being in home, having stress and having pain, all the kind of sufferings, may they all be recovered. May they all be fit and fine. May they all have a new rays of light and filled with happiness. May our merit be the cause of all this. So with this, I would like to conclude the class. Thank you very much for joining. Looking forward to see you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Tik.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.